Hello, friends. Um, Welcome to your daily forecast with Jenae. Happy Monday. Happy President's Day. I when I woke up this morning and looked at my calendar, the day is like full, like of words, like the little day. I don't even think that their printers for the 18th of February could fit more in the little square than is humanly possible. Like then they I don't think that they could. Um, and so we're gonna go through some of it, and some of it we're just gonna, we'll talk about next year when the 18th of February comes around. Um, so um, yeah, today's the 18th of February. It is President's Day, so it's definitely a day of honor. Um, and And I like that for today. I think that today is actually a really, um, all of the rest of the things that are on the calendar kind of, or like that are happening in the cosmos fit, um, you know, the honor that we feel for this day. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Um, we are in our second to last morning in the second quarter. We are less than 24 hours away from the full moon, people. Um, so the countdown has begun. Um, so tomorrow, when we have video times, we'll be doing some gratitude things, which is really, really pretty exciting. Um, and so looking forward to that. Full moon things and gratitude things, ways to kind of honor the full moon and to see it as a day that is less emotional. And I mean, we still honor the energy that's there, but like definitely, less anxiety driven and more to be there with a clear mind. And I hope that for us tomorrow. Um, so we are in the second quarter for the second to last day, because tomorrow morning we will wake up and at like 10 oh yes 10:54 a.m. tomorrow morning we will move into the third quarter. And so the beginning of the third quarter, as we've talked about, is the full moon. And then we're in the third quarter for a week. So we're in the second quarter. Tonight, if you can see the moon, it will look very full because it's really very close to being full. When we see the moon tomorrow night, it will be, it will be after the full moon. So it will probably look very similar to tonight to us. Um, so we enter, let's talk about the moon. So the last time I talked to you guys, the moon was in Cancer. And we missed yesterday. This weekend has been a Galentine's weekend for me. Like, I had all of the times with the girls, you guys, and it was just absolutely splendid. Spending time with, powerful women that are standing in themselves and, doing all of the great things that they do and being the amazing women that they are, sitting in the same room with them and talking about life and, growth, but being and just, supporting each other and connecting in a way that lets us know that we're all really on the same journey, and that we can be, along for each other's rides, It's just a really, really just, fulfilling thing. And so thank you to all the girls that I saw this weekend and the girls that I didn't get to see everybody, but the girls that I saw this weekend, gosh, we just had like a slamming good like time. Like we connected to the Earth Mother this weekend, just like by all of our energies kind of like pooling, and it was so good. Like I'm a fount, you guys, about all of the glorious feminine energy that I've been basking in all weekend. So, as of last night, yesterday at 10:20 in the morning, the moon has moved into Leo. And Leo is the lion. And as we talked about before, the moon is about our emotional energies. The sun is what we see, is what we get, right? The sun is going through the zodiac signs in a year, and the moon goes through them every month. So we'll be in Leo starting yesterday and then into tomorrow. And so our emotional place today, our moon place today, is very Leo. And yeah, so Leo is a natural leader. Leo emotions are self-confident, and they have great senses of humor. It's a great sense of humor. We want to laugh during these next couple of days. It's a generous energy. It is a it's very self-confident. It's slightly flirtatious in that it's just attractive, right? When people are self-confident and they walk out or they walk into a room, like standing up straight and tall and being funny and not having to think twice about the person that they are, they're really attractive to us. And a lot of times that comes off, people call it flirting, but really what it is it's just somebody, it's just people being grounded in themselves. And Leos have that. They have that it's a very active energy that it's really easy for people to crowd around them. And in that way, it's very easy for Leo energy to unite people. And so, so starting yesterday, we went in, the moon has gone into Leo. So those emotions will be very real in us through the next day or so. In addition, the extremes of a Leo can be arrogant and kind of aloof in a way that is like they don't pay so much attention. The energy doesn't pay so much attention to what's going on around them with other people, like as far as being aware of other people's feelings. The Leo energy doesn't focus on those sorts of things. And so we definitely, in grounding with our courage and being self-confident and loquacious and, hilarious and the life of the party, that sort of emotion that we connect with in the next day or so, we definitely need to be aware that there's the propensity for being in a place where we may hurt someone else's feelings, or we can just not connect with people on an emotional level, which is okay, really. It's like, it's a couple of days. We don't like coming off as arrogant. Nobody really does. Well, no, some people do. Some people are really proud. Jeremy and I were watching QI the other day, and it's actually truth that if one of the questions that they asked was, are you a narcissist? And they said that statistically speaking, people who are narcissists will admit to being narcissists because they're fine with the fact that they are. They're actually proud of it. So, not saying that Leo and narcissism are the same thing. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying that the confidence is real in today, people, about being a Leo, to the point where we get to admit how proud we are of being where we're at. And also we get to tap into that the strength of a Leo, like the mental strength of a Leo about how great we are. So let's do that. That is never a bad thing. Like I think that is great. Don't let it make you railroad people, or we don't want to run over anybody, but connecting to that is great to do. And it will be natural to us in the next couple of days. So the moon is in Leo. Tonight at 6 p.m., the sun will move into Pisces. And so the sun has been in Aquarius for a month, and we're moving into Pisces now. And Pisces is a water sign. So we're going from an air sign into a water sign. And I will talk more with you tomorrow when we are actually in Pisces about Pisces energy and what that looks like to us for the next month. But we can know that tonight at 6:04 p.m. we are changing signs. And it doesn't look like there's a void of course on this one. It's going to be pretty instantaneous. So, be ready to give up, or to feel yourself going from a very airy cardinal sign into a very fluid, waterful. I believe that Pisces is I actually don't know what kind of sign a Pisces is, but I know it's not a fixed sign. I think it's mutable. I want to say that it's a very go with the flow sort of sign. So, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. So just be aware of the sun change. So there's that. It is neither a planting nor a harvesting day, so you get to choose what that means for you. I think it's going to be a pretty chill day here, and outside of really looking forward to talk to you guys today, I've got a few other things waiting in the wings that are probably going to be very social, and I get to use some of my Leo energy for that. So, woohoo! I'm debating whether to tell you guys this because it's actually slightly crazy. So, I'm going to tell you a bit about what I'm about to tell you. So, this morning, I can't find my pad of paper. Well, I had a pad of paper. I'm sorry, you guys. I've lost it. Oh, it's right behind me. Okay. I woke up at around 4 something this morning. I don't know what time it was. But I woke up and I don't know okay, so you guys would have had to have seen The Haunting of Hill House. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not really very much into scary things. I've found as I ground into myself and I root into what I know to be true, I am able to see scarier things on the television. For whatever reason, in my religious upbringing, I was taught that if you watch scary things, they will happen to you. Or something about, like if you watch a movie about demons, you will be possessed. And I can't tell you that I can't tell you why religion does that. I can't explain this to you. But so I watched The Haunting of Hill House with my little sister, Kendra. And I was visited last night by the bent neck lady. I know, you guys, I know. it's a little crazy, but it was my bent neck lady, like mine. So crazy, right? At like 4 something, because I finally looked at my clock at like 4:45 and I had just been tossing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you always wonder if you should just get up because you've been up for a while. And my mind was kind of like rolling a little bit. I didn't really know what was up, because I was just like, well, that was weird, and I feel like I brought her to light in a way that was like, I faced that. And this isn't a dream. Like, I wasn't dreaming. I was awake. So I faced that and I brought light into that energy. And my mind started like thinking about specific things that I've been doing lately, including yoga and some of the things that I'm thinking about doing in the future. And like these videos that I'm doing for you guys, right? So I'm visited by my very own bent neck lady, and uh, had a good hour of a scrolling mind after that. And so this morning I got up and I did my yogas. Like I went back to bed. I slept after that. Had a cuddle with the dogs, got up, made some coffee, did my yogas, started looking at my calendar for the day, and at 4:10 a.m. this morning, Chiron, I spoke to you a little bit about Chiron in the past. My Chiron in my astrological chart, my birth chart, is in Gemini, and that is the wounded healer. And I was telling you guys, like, it was affecting me to be, for whatever reason, for the moon to be in Gemini was really hard for me this month. Chiron, that planetary aspect, or it may be a comment, but in that aspect, moved last night. At 4:10 a.m., it moved into Aries. And I had this momentary realization that my Chiron showed up to me as the bent neck lady, right? My wounded healer was the bent neck lady. And I like have chills right now. Like, I don't know if you guys have chills. I have chills. My bent neck lady is my wounded healer, and that is amazing to me. And here's why. Like, also was really scary for a second, because when you watch it, you will realize, if you haven't watched it, whoa. If you haven't watched it, when you watch it, you will go, holy shit, you guys. Like, you don't want, what? So, but you have to watch the whole thing. You can't stop, because the bent neck lady is not who you think she is or what you think she is. So you have to watch the whole thing. Anyway, so what that means to me, and, well, actually, we'll back up. When I looked at the calendar, and I was thinking about it for a minute. Like I said, I had just done my yogas, and so I was like, I need to know the thoughts that went through my head when she appeared. Because when your wounded healer visits you, or not visit, we'll not even say visit, when your wounded healer becomes clear to you, the information that comes along with your wounded healer, to me, is one of the most important things that I could ever know, because that's the way that I give back. My wounded healer, when I learned that I had something that was a wounded healer, I got so hopeful about the fact that all of the crap that I have been through in my life was not for nothing. And that I can use the things that have happened to me and the pain that I've felt to help other people. Like, that is so meaningful to me, you guys, and I hope it's meaningful to you. I hope that you realize that wounded healers, like our very own wounded healer, is ours. And that is a specific, unique to you way that you can give back to society, or like add to the beauty of the cosmos. All of the things that have happened to you that have been good but also bad can be utilized in a very lovely and connective way, and I just love that. So I sat down and used my part of my meditation time this morning to bring my mind back to that place and remember the things that were going through my mind after she became clear to me. And I wrote those things down, and I'm not going to tell you all what they were, but they were definitely like doing things, like purposeful things. Like I said, the things that I've been doing in my life right now, and the things that I've been thinking about, and kind of drawing lines and making a path and seeing what my karmic path is, and how my wounded healer is going to be able to help other people. And that is just super cool. So, it is a true thing that the wounded healer, your wounded healer, moved last night at 4:10 a.m. Well, this morning. And it moved into Aries. And so I'm only going to talk about Aries. Like I said, this is not the sun and this is not the moon. This is this aspect specifically that we're talking about, that moved. And so it's good to know, I think, if you're very connected to your, or if your wounds are very real to you and you feel like they move through you and that you want to do something with them, I find that it would be very, or like to me, it's very useful to know where that aspect is. And so your wounded healer is now in a fire sign. Aries is courageous, determined, and optimistic. It is the first sign of the zodiac. And so Aries is actually thought of to be the beginning of all beginnings. It is in the wheel of the year of the zodiac, it is the very beginning. And so your wounded healer has reached a beginning. And that's really exciting because connecting to that opens up a whole realm of possibilities, and also integrating what we've gathered into a new moment. And what a better time to do it, or to come to that realization and to have this change, than around the full moon. I love that. Aries is definitely a natural flow of energy. It is very active in a physical sort of way. So actually like utilizing your body like in a physical sort of way to connect to your wounded healer is a very obvious thing. It's ruled by Mars, and my sister is actually in Aries, and it's a very strong energy, like stronger than Leo times. We're talking about like the extremes of Aries include quite a bit of anger, and that's not even necessarily a bad thing. I think we were taught that anger was a bad thing at a time, and I think that anger is given to us. Like you can dive into anger and choose not to come out, but I think that anger is given to us to let us know what matters to us. In the same way that jealousy, we feel jealousy when we realize what matters to us. We feel love when we realize what matters to us. But some are more acceptable than others. And it's because of what people choose to do to react to what they call anger. And so it is true that Aries can fall into anger. And so very much like the Lilith that we talked about the other day, Lilith chooses to react to her anger in a way that is very physical. That's the story of Lilith and violent. And that Aries energy can choose that. But Aries energy is also just very progressive. It's fiery, and rampant. Like I said, the beginning of all beginnings. It is something like a passion, right? Passion and a beginning starts because of that fire. And so Aries can give us that fire and can feed that fire, and that's great too, especially in the case of a wounded healer. And it's ruled by Mars. That is the very last thing, is that it is ruled by Mars. And we know things about Mars. It's very fiery and stormy on there. It's not very friendly to us. When we try to go there, we've had some issues. Just like literally, like the actual Mars. But astrologically speaking, it's big and heady and strong. It's definitely, and Mars is the god of war. So, and we named it after something that was very great to us. So we used those words. So that is where our wounded healer is today. And I think what that really tells us, like if you're not in a place where you're ready to use your wounds to heal others, we always get to use our wounded healer to heal ourselves, because we're the ones who are most aware of where our wounds are. And we are also the ones, even if we don't know in our front conscious, I would say, how to heal those wounds, somewhere in our body we actually do. Because all of the truth of the universe is inside of us. And all of the truth of our soul, like where we have wounds, like our soul knows where the wound is and how to fix it. And that's Reiki. That's a very Reiki thing. Capital R-E-I-K-I. And I've been looking into that a little bit because energy flows to where it's needed. And I think that we can allow our energies to focus where it matters in our body in a very conscious way, including through meditation, including through, I would say, definitely a more concentrated yoga practice. And I don't mean concentrated like hard, and I don't mean concentrated like you have to think really hard. In a concentrated yoga, by the concentrated yoga practice, I would more so just say, as you're doing yoga, you're doing it for the reason that is to self-realize and not for a workout, or and not to like max yourself out or like get into the next pose, which is very cool. Last yoga weekend, I got into shoulder stand like proper for the very first time, and I was super stoked. So it's not wrong to want to get into all the poses, but you definitely, we don't do yoga to have a yogi body. We do yoga to connect to the universal mind. And I love that. So that is the wounded healer, and that's where it's at. So all of the good energy to your wounds today, and also all of the fire and passion to the place in you that has seen those wounds, has healed from those wounds, and is ready to share with others what you know about having been wounded, and your hope at knowing that your acceptance of the wounds that exist, and that they do exist, and that they are hard and awful and while it's happening, and then the hope and the knowledge that you share, that is, I'm gonna be there with you, and you're gonna rock this. So I hope that for you today, your wounded healer, that Aries really shows up, and that you choose to run with that. Okay. So I think that the very last thing is the color of the day. And the color of the day is lavender. And I think it's great that the color of the day is lavender. Lavender, like the herb, right, is actually the color that we know as lavender, like the purple flowers. But the herb itself, that scent, and I actually have a little bottle of it that I just open sometimes. My candle is actually lavender too. There's no specific reason to that. But lavender, no, I lied. That candle is chamomile. But much like chamomile, lavender is a very soothing, relaxing scent to us. In fact, at a time, Bella has anxiety and separation and stuff, and I got an herbal remedy that was basically just like lavender oil. They just said, like, put a couple of little dots on her fur, and I haven't done that in a while, but people say the same thing with just putting a little dot on your wrists, and kind of rubbing it a little bit and allowing that scent. So the herb is very relaxing and soothing to us. I have a nighttime Get Relaxed tea by Republic of Tea that I drink almost every night. Sometimes I do get Gorgeous, but the Get Relaxed one from Republic of Tea is lavender, and you can get it on Amazon. It's like $10 for like a lot of days. And it's very, very good. So if you want to connect to today, I would say the easy way is definitely just to find yourself some lavender scentage, right? Lavender candle, lavender tea, lavender essential oil. But if you're looking to connect to the color, I went through my feng shui book, or that binder that I showed you the other day, to look for lavender, and I didn't have it listed. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have lavender in my house. Where lavender, after looking through all of the or like doing feng shui in the houses and spaces that I've been in, where lavender shows up for me in my bagua is in family and new beginnings. If any of y'all have ever used my guest bathroom, that is that. And also this room. Our house is not in like a rectangular shape or a square shape, which is what a bagua is supposed to be in. And so I've moved our house. A bagua is just a map, that shows you where the feng goes, like where all of the elements go. But because our house is in interesting shape, I have, felt the energies and figured out where these spaces are. So between the guest bathroom and this room is where I have the most purple and or lavender, and mostly like lighter lavenders. And that is a very, if you look up in feng shui, you can look up your family and new beginning space. You can look up the wood element, and that's where it shows up for me. And it is a very soothing color. And so, in that way, I guess lavender is a very earthy color to me. It reminds me of wood and growth and life. When I was thinking about planting my bee garden, as I do every other day or so right now, I was thinking to have lavender because bees love it. It has all the good tastes or pollens or whatever it is that they love so much. So, Texas actually has quite a few lavender festivals. I've never been to one, but I've seen that people have been to them, and so, that would be cool. But I think that a lavender color is basically just, it's purple lightened, and we know that, and that sounds like, duh, Brett, it's light purple, but it's a very earthy light purple, And the reason why I say that is because, so your crown chakra, crown, top of the head, of the 7 fundamental chakras, it is at the top of your head, and it is your spiritual consciousness and all the things that go on above your head. So it's your connection to everything that is above you, including higher thinking and things like that. And it is a lighter version of that, a lighter, more earthy version of that. And I like that. It doesn't expect much from me in the addition of white, as we've said before. The addition of white and the pastelness to any color doesn't expect much from you today. Lavender, I think, just expects that you take a couple of deep breaths and enjoy your connection to today. But if you have lavender scentage, that, you know, that would always be a proper way. I will probably do the, thumbs to wrists, with a little bit of essential oil for that connection for myself today. And I will definitely choose lavender tea at night times. So, if you live in the area and you need some, I will, bring some to you, or you can come and have some if you can't get it on Amazon super fast. It's hard to find. Sometimes you can find that tea at Whole Foods, and maybe I will show it to you at some time so that you can see it, because it's very good. That whole line is good. I have a Get Clean one that I do during the day right now that's very detox, and a Republic of Tea I find is pretty great and tasty too. Okay, well, that is pretty much all the things. I really do hope all the good things for you. I hope a few deep breaths, and that you are soothed today, that your wounded healer is soothed by and also soothing you. And I hope for you the beginnings of gratitude as we go into, as we enter into the full moon state, which is, tonight going into tomorrow. And I hope for you a day that is full of honor and power. We are strong and courageous and steady today. No truth is greater than that. And even our wounds have made us that way. And also our wounds have given us the tools to heal others. And so I hope that for all of us. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.